Hello everybody, this is Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. We are a part of a collaboration with Prepping versus Homesteading. And we've been asked two questions by Doug and Stacy from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy.
And the first one that they've asked us is, if you had to bug out as a prepper, how long do you think that Danny and I would last? Or, you know, how long would we last if we had to bug out?
If we had to bug out, well, I don't really see where it'd be a problem for Wanda and I.
From the time he was 18
From the time I was 18 till I was 33 years old,
yeah.
I was in the woods. There's not a lot in this area about the woods that I don't know, so
hunted,
I hunted, fished, I trapped, I learned what to eat, what not to eat. So for me to have to bug out, I don't really see it being a major issue, because Wanda now, see, I mean, I know a lot about herbs and things like that, but now Wanda knows a lot about herbs.
Yeah, I have a background in herbs. I studied herbs, and also a lot of the plants that we grow locally here that are in the woods. So I can pick out things that we can eat, such as berries and trees and plants and, you know, and medicinal plants. So I do believe we could last for a while, barring neither one of us got, you know, majorly sick.
Yeah, barring no major health issues. Now that would, you know, of course that's going to change anything.
Yeah.
You know, because the old adage is, you know, even back before we had electricity in this country and stuff like that, basically the bottom line was only the strong survived.
Yes.
And it's that way in the animal kingdom even. So, and that would be no different with a human being should we get stuck and have to live and bug out into the woods somewhere.
We could go, you know, we could probably live a very long time on what we could find in the woods, because we basically have turned our landscape into an edible landscape using our natural trees and bushes that grow here in Mississippi. And so we already have our yard set up as that, so to find them in the woods is very easy identifiable by me or Danny.
Yeah.
And so just eating would be okay. He also knows how to make shelters.
Yeah, I know how to build all kinds of rough shelters. I know how to build homemade traps, because I used to, you know, like I said, I trapped for many years. I skinned the furs out. I took care of all that kind of stuff. I knew, I know what animals are edible, what times of the year.
And I also know how to sew. So if it comes down to it, we could rig something to put on.
Right.
And Danny has this keen sense in the woods and anywhere of hearing, and a sense of danger. And he also knows exactly, like if he's walking and he'll stop you, he knows there's something around. He has he spots snakes long before anybody else would even know they were around. So and animals, he listens, he knows all types of animals, the sounds they make. Yeah. So I don't think we would have too much trouble bugging out, but let's just pray we don't ever have to.
Yeah, let's pray we don't have to, because actually this is our bug out place. Even though we have bug out bags, this is where we were going to bug out too, but you never know what might happen. I mean,
we could be in town and have to bug too here.
Yeah, we could be in town and have to get home. I mean, we reenact these things every so often. I'll be at a service station somewhere pumping gas, and I'll look at one and go, oh my God, EMP just happened. What do we do now? Just to give her a little prep, and we'll begin to sit and talk about
what's in the truck, what needs to go with us, what we have to leave, and how we're getting it home. And we know that if something happens, leave immediately. Don't wait around for people to panic.
Yeah, you got to be gone within the first hour, because you know, after the first hour, people begin to realize something's wrong. Well, by that time, you need to already be on your way.
Yeah.
So. Okay,
so the second question was, and this is from Doug and Stacy, from Off Grid with Doug and Stacy. As a homesteader, if the SHTF happened, how would you handle not being able to get flour and sugar from the store?
Well, that's not really an issue for us right now, because we raise a variety of corn here called Texas gourd seed corn. It's actually called tooth corn, or some people call it a Rockway Indian corn. This corn can be ground into flour to cook breads and stuff with.
And I already have been using corn flour for a while now instead of regular flour for things like breading meats and stuff. So we're already accustomed to it.
And plus, I know how to take the acorns and boil them in water and get the tannins out of them, and how to actually dry them and grind them into powder if it was to come to that. Of course, that would only be good in the fall, in the winter time, because in the spring, in the summer, there's not going to be any acorns available because of wildlife, and the worms is going to eat most of them up anyway.
And we have an abundance here. I mean, we pick up bucket loads of acorns just to feed our animals. So if it comes down to it, feeding animals or us eating, we would eat before the animals.
We would eat before the animals.
And we would eat the animals.
Yeah, but the flour, like I said, corn flour, we would do the corn flour, and I've learned how to use it to actually, and Wanda has, to make the different breads and stuff like that. Now the texture's not like regular flour, but in an SHTF situation, you're really not worried about texture.
You just want to eat.
You're just worried about, you need a complex carbohydrate to get in your belly so that you have a little bit of energy.
And we do have, we have prepped flour, so we have enough flour probably to last several months. We wouldn't run out for a long time.
It'd take a while.
We would probably ration it even more to make it last longer, and what we have prepped would even last a year if we just really stretched it. So
yeah. Now, as far as the sugar is concerned, we do raise our own sugar cane. I do have a cane mill, so we could perceivably create our own syrup, and I understand how to make sugar out of it. I've done that before. And plus, depending on the time of the year it is, at certain times of the year, we have over 100 bee boxes on our property at any one given time.
And we have honey because we keep enough honey to last for a year.
Yeah, we keep a year's supply of honey at all times.
If the bees are here and they haven't picked them up, then we have bees, and we can. Yeah, Danny's robbed beehives before. He had his own beehive, so
I used to have my own beehive, so robbing bees is not a problem for me.
And we don't use a lot of sugar. Our main sugar use is when we can in the summer.
Yeah.
So to have a lot of sugar, a 5-pound bag of sugar may last us close to 3 months sometimes. So it's not
right.
We use more honey than
we use more honey than we do anything else. Yeah, well, and then syrup, would be a sweetener, because I don't know how many of y'all understand survival, but a lot of times one of the best ways to control any given population is to take the sweetener away, because the brain needs sugar to work, and if you take sugar away from a given population, then it doesn't take long. They actually become zombies. You can actually make them do anything you want to do just simply by the use of sugar.
And that's why I have so many canned fruits and jams and jellies. We went really crazy the last couple of years. Everything we can get our hands on, we can with sugar in it. That is from peaches to figs to apples to pears to strawberries, huckleberry, blackberry, blueberry. We made jellies of all kinds. We've made all kinds of things. And another thing we have is stevia. I have several stevia plants, and I have started dehydrating my stevia, so we're not going to run out of sugar if we can help it.
Yeah, and plus we understand the different fruits and vegetables that have sugar in them, like figs are predominantly a lot of sugar in figs, and if you dehydrate them, you can get a lot of sugar from that. You get your natural sugars like she was talking about from peaches and apples and berries and stuff like that. So if they're all dehydrated with a solar dehydrator, then you can rehydrate them, and you can still keep some sugar coming into your system. So we're very much aware of how to do that because of both our knowledges in that area.
So we hope that answers your question, Doug and Stacy. And our questions now go to Bigbear Homestead. So tomorrow you can tune in to Bigbear Homestead and see what they say to our questions. The first one is, as a prepper, how do you determine how much food your family needs for a year? And the second one is, as a homesteader, what amount of land do you need to have to keep your family fed if a SHTF event happens?
So that's our questions for you, Big Bear. And we look forward to hearing your answers on it and your ideas and your thoughts about your way of looking at this situation. So I hope y'all have enjoyed our collab tonight. And we just ask y'all to watch us and join us as we do our YouTube channels and we do our live streams, and so all the events that we do throughout the week. We invite y'all to be a part of that and a part of our YouTube channel community.
And we would like for you to go back, if you haven't already, if this is the first of the collaboration you've seen, go back to Julianne at Dirt Patch Heaven and watch her prepping versus homesteading and bushcrafting. She started this off about 3 or 4 days ago, and she answers questions, and then she asks questions to someone else, and she'll tell you where to go. And so it's a great lineup of people. I don't know how many nights it's going because we're like number 4 or 5 on the list.
Yeah.
So, but we did get our questions from Doug and Stacy, and we're sending ours to Bigbear.
Yeah. Thanks, Doug and Stacy, for the questions, and thank y'all from Deep South Homestead.